Hey, do you hold your stuff with an open hand, or does your stuff have a death grip around your neck? Are you free from the love of money? Find out on today's episode of the Men Arena podcast. Men in the Arena Army, we salute you. Hey guys, thanks for listening to this episode of the Men in the Arena podcast. I'm Jim Ramos, your host and guide, leading you to your best version in the stress bubble of life and beyond. Welcome to Spotify's #1 podcast for Christian men. Hey guys, I am here in beautiful South Africa celebrating my 32nd anniversary with my beautiful bride, and we are filming 20 podcast episodes out of my book, Dialed In, Reaching Your Full Capacity as a Man of God. If you're listening to this audibly, make sure you go on over to YouTube and check out the beautiful surrounding in which we are filming this week's podcast. Well, I want to dive into this episode. You know, in 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 7, it says, the dialed in man, it actually says the overseer, but to be qualified as a spiritual leader or overseer should be the goal of every Christian man. So, in other words, the dialed in man must be freed from the love of money. You know, one of the things that is so important for us as Christian men is to be generous. And this chapter is called The Generous Man. You can't outgive God. And this concept of outgiving God is the man who is free from the love of money. He holds his stuff with an open hand. And a lot of times what we hear from men is, oh, I don't have the money to give. I don't have the stuff to give. And I want to tell you something. If you are listening to this on a smartphone that you are paying a monthly fee for, I'm going to tell you something, you're rich. If your toilet flushed this morning, you're rich. You know, I have a home for my clothes. I have a home for my guns. I have a home for my pets. I have a home that my car parks in. My seat in my truck actually heats and cools along with my steering wheel. I am rich by the world's standards. And the bigger issue here, guys, and the dilemma is when we understand the true wealth we have within this world and as children of God, we should hold our stuff with an open hand. Our time, our talents, our money, our resources, we should be willing to give that away and to be generous with those things. We need to give those things away off the top as the first fruits of our labors to glorify Jesus. There's so much I want to say to you about being a generous man, but if you want to know more about this topic, check out my book, Dialed In, Reaching Your Full Capacity as a Man of God. Until next time, feel the wet sand on the arena floor. Hear the deafening roar of the crowd. Taste the sweetness of victory. Smell the stench of battle. Get in the game. Get dirty. Grind it out. Be generous. And be a man.
You know, we often forget, guys, that God has called us to steward the bodies He gave us. That's why we're so excited to partner with Mountain Tough Fitness Lab. Join me on my journey by going to mountaintough.com and getting your free 6-week trial when you type in the code ARENA30. Stay dangerous.